Surprising news about the new Twister sequel, A24's new Death Stranding game. Bradley Cooper is sitting mad, and questions about Alex Garland Civil War.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kim left to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
Oh, I thought
It's you, Tyler.
It's you.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
Yes, and 1 week we go in the opposite order, and it breaks Tyler's brain.
I know it does. I'm a creature of habit. Don't you know?
The habit is the same direction we're going now.
True. I should have caught on that.
Yes, but yeah, welcome to the show today. Welcome YouTube, welcome Twitch, welcome the OG classmates out in podcast land.
Yes.
And thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We have a really fun show today.
I would think we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
As opposed to most days.
I would like to think so.
Yeah,
That it's mostly fun.
It's super not fun most days.
Yeah. Well,
Most days it's
what
about
is that?
plagues and death and famine. Today we're talking about civil wars,
We've moved on to a different subject.
natural disaster movies.
End of the world movies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's get right into some gab and chatter.
Oh, wait. We're not going to check in with each other? Okay.
Find some character in you, lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Yes, to it. Gab and chatter, movie news of the week. Tyler, what do you have for the class?
I thought we were going to check in with each other and
Checking in with you right here. We're 30 minutes late.
30 minutes late.
Yeah. It's a thing.
40 minutes
Yeah,
late,
we're actually we have a time, a schedule, and all those things, and we've disappointed the class already.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
Tyler
of
forgets that
course.
we actually have people
Yeah.
listening to this show.
I mean, well, like I said,
They're watching live, all of them.
the universe of middle class film class is the metaphorical classroom where we all sit in the back, and I'm the one who's always late, coming in stoned, not doing homework.
Picking the desk in front of him, which is Joseph.
Yeah, and making passes at the popular girls.
What roles are Joseph and I? And don't say James Dean for Joseph.
James Dean. No, Joseph is the studious one who he gets like A+ on all of his homework. Pete, you are
So
like
I'm a nerd.
No, you're not a nerd. You're the
Fucking dork.
you're the guy
Because they
who
have glasses, huh?
your words, not mine. No, you're the one who aces all the tests and everything. I'm the one who's peeking over your shoulder trying to get the answers. Pete's the one who's he does great. He does okay. He's not. He has
Not remarkable.
What?
he has a B average, but he's charismatic. But like all three of us together, like we're the ones that everyone's talking about in class. They're just like, man, I wish I could hang out with those guys because we're all gabbing and chattering about movies and we know everything about movies.
Everyone's that guy Tyler just doesn't shut the fuck up.
But yeah, that too.
I'm trying to do my test.
Little do you know, I went to summer school 2 years in a row.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I went to summer school for all years of school, so I know
Maybe
what
that's
it
why
is.
you dropped out, because you're like, I'm taking classes during the summer. I've had enough.
Yeah, I was just
Dropping out of summer school.
I was just done with it. I was just like, to what end? To what end? I'm gonna be working a job where it doesn't even require a high school degree anyway.
Have you seen those memes where it's like driving to work at 4 a.m. because you wanted to make jokes in class?
But here you are, now working a job where you don't need a high school degree.
Yeah, there you go.
Because you didn't get one.
Yeah, that's
Imagine where you would be if you did get a high school degree.
true. Probably the same place that I am right now.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the way that I am. Anyways, moving on to my news story. This comes from collider.com. This is about the sequel of Twister. I think I brought this up on the show a while ago that there was going to be a sequel to Twister.
Yeah.
It was a beloved VHS tape that I coveted for a very long time. And I really enjoyed the movie. It has Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. They just had incredible chemistry. And the concept of storm chasers was something relatively new. I believe Twister came out in 96.
Correct.
Okay. And it just had a very unique story for something that was like a new sort of area of study because basically, like meteorology and that sort of study is based on data.
Where are you going with this, Tyler? Why are you talking about?
I'm talking about the
realms?
greatness. I'm talking about the greatness of Twister.
That's okay. What's your story?
And there's
sequel to Twister.
There's a sequel to Twister, and if you can guess, it's called Twisters.
Oh, okay, cool, classic.
However, it won't be connected to Twister, despite what you've heard. Unfortunately,
Wait a second. Say that again. So it's a sequel to Twister that's not connected to Twister.
yeah, it's a soft reboot, as they call in the industry.
Oh, okay. It's a soft reboot. Got it.
Yeah. It's a follow-up to the 1996 classic, and it's more of a loose relation than a full-blooded sequel.
So it's going to be with the carryovers. It's going to be set somewhere in the Midwest, and there's going to be a Twister.
Probably. It doesn't really go much into the plot details, but I'm going to get into this news story because the author of this story really worded it really well in the first paragraph. So this is how it goes.
Thank you for setting us up for. Just say the joke. Don't set us up for the joke. Just say it.
Welcome back to the Suck Zone. Storm Chasers. One of the most, like I don't know what to say.
Okay, great, wonderful.
One of the most eagerly awaited and intriguing films of 2024 is surely set to be Twisters, the sequel to the 1996 cult classic Twister from Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont.
Oh, it's Jan de Bont. Okay. Well.
Director of Speed, also. He only directs movies that have one word in the title.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that was like
It's in his contract.
Yeah, that was insane. It's in his
So he
contract.
didn't do Speed 2.
No.
No, because it had a numerical
Speed 2
number.
Cruise
Yeah.
Control.
So, anyways, the film will be directed by Academy Award nominee Lee Isaac Chung from a screenplay written by Mark L. Smith, who co-wrote the adapted screenplay of Alejandro G. Iñárritu's The Revenant. Twister proved to be a massive commercial success for Universal upon its release, sending box office expectations flying higher than a cow in a water spout by bringing in a mighty $500 million worldwide haul.
I was going to say, what's the over-under that there's going to be a flying cow in Twister 2? Or Twisters?
I think there might be an Easter egg or two from the original. There has to be.
Yeah, they got to have it's going to be the Dorothy 3 this time.
Or it's going to have Bill Paxton.
Force Ghost, Bill Paxton.
Force Ghost. No, Bill Paxton is actually the Twister. You can see his face.
Okay.
He's like the mummy,
CG'd
the
in there.
sandstorm mummy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's written by Michael Crichton and Anne Marie Martin.
Crichton?
Yeah, Michael Crichton. He wrote the original one, too.
Oh,
Isn't he an REM?
No, that's Michael Stipe.
No, that's
we
Michael
covered that
Stipe.
last week.
Oh, we did. That's right.
Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park. And
Are you
Twister,
sure he
apparently.
wasn't in REM?
He might have had
You know
a
what?
he might have had a little he might have had
I
a
never
finger in the pie.
He played
but-
cowbell.
They had the same first name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I have to make a correction. Jan de Bont did direct Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh,
is that
okay.
right?
So he
Yes.
ventured out of his one-word
he
titles.
did. Also, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life.
Oh, okay.
That gem.
Oh, yeah. That's with Angelina Jolie, correct?
No, I don't think so. Oh. It's a different one. It's a reboot.
Oh, yes, that's right. I do recall that. So, anyways, the film followed So the original film followed a divorced couple who are also partners in storm chasing, as everyone knows, and the two were brought together when signing of their divorce papers gets held up. But this coincides with the arrival of an extraordinary storm front, presenting them with the opportunity to pursue an unprecedented supercell EF5 tornado in Oklahoma. So I'm thinking maybe
What does that mean?
I don't know.
The F5, no one survived an F5 according to the movie except for one. It was Dr. Joe Harding, played by Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
Her family got sucked off and she was left in the basement. I think that's the technical term.
They got
I think
sucked
so.
off in the suck zone.
Yeah.
Well, recently
Tyler, who said the suck zone? Who coined the phrase the suck zone in the movie?
in the movie, oh my god,
You said it's one of your classic favorites.
I think Bill Paxton, right? No.
It was the cow.
It was one of the fantastic supporting cast, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh yeah,
He played. Remember, he plays that goofy ass character.
I can't believe I forgot he was in that film.
He's explaining.
I should have really watched this movie before getting into this article.
He's explaining the metrics of the twister to the girlfriend of Bill Paxton, the new fiance.
Yeah,
and he goes, "It's called the suck zone," and she's like a therapist or something, so she's just like a fish out of water. Also has Alan Ruck and Patrick Fischler and Carrie Elwes.
Yeah.
Sean Whalen as well. Great supporting cast in the original Twister.
So recently, Collider's Steve Weintraub, or I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. He's a journalist and author for Collider.com. He spoke with Smith as he was on the promotional trailer for his new film, Boys in the Boat, directed by George Clooney. And Weintraub took the opportunity to quiz Smith on how the film came about, as well as debunking some rumors about certain plot lines from the film after speculation that the movie would be incorporating characters related to the original stars. Smith...
Tyler, is this the first time you read this article?
No, I actually read it 2 times because I knew you were going to ask that.
And you still decided to read the whole article, start to finish?
Yes. Like, I know.
The magic of the show is that we talk about it, not that you read the entire article that someone else wrote, start to finish, and then we have no time for commentary.
Okay, fine. Then I'll just get...
So what do we think about the idea of a Twister sequel?
I think I like it.
Good question, Joseph.
Okay, I'll be done with the article right now. But so
I'm putting down my phone.
Essentially, the attitude of making a Twister sequel is to have it relate to climate change, which is very much prevalent in our modern day right now.
I never heard of that before. Talking about climate change?
Sounds very woke to me.
Yeah. Greenhouse something, right?
Oh, I didn't know we were a right-wing podcast.
1/3 of this podcast.
You know why they call it right wing? Because they're right.
You know what? That's a great point. I never thought about that way. I'm changing my ways.
A lot of people were like really, because it's like a beloved quote unquote classic. A lot of people were upset that there was going to be a sequel. It's like, how can you make a sequel of Twisters? Just make your own original property.
Call it the suck zone.
Exactly. Yeah. Call it the suck zone. But the director and writers, they essentially said that for climate change being so prevalent right now and affecting our day-to-day lives, why not make a sequel to Twister, or soft reboot, I should say, to Twister? And
I'm on board with that.
Just make a modern day Twister is what they're saying.
Also, when I was reading the article too, Helen Hunt expressed interest in reprising her role from the original movie, and the executives at Universal was just like, nope. Sorry.
No, you in this movie?
Because
no way.
I don't know if I guess it's not a spoiler really, but because it's out in the zeitgeist of media, they're writing her for her to have died.
Oh, okay.
So there's no room for her to be.
So then it is a sequel. So if she's in the
same
in
world,
the plot line, if it's in the same universe,
it's a little bit messy. Like
it's a sequel then.
But they're gonna CG Bill Paxton back into the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, as the aforementioned.
They're gonna
Twister.
Tarkin him.
It's gonna be Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton's characters as the combined Twisters.
That's exciting. I don't honestly. I know that a couple years ago when we started the show, some of the stories that Tyler was running was I would bring a list of movies that are being rebooted and just basically wait for Tyler to explode in rage.
Oh yeah,
and it's fun to joke about it, but who cares? You can just not watch the movie.
True.
Like when they made Space Jam Legacy, it's like, we can just not watch LeBron James in this.
But we did.
And it sucked. and Tyler forced us to watch the original Space Jam and ruin our childhood memories of fondness and realize how it's not a good movie.
No, it is a good movie.
No, it's not. It's a bad movie.
No, it is not.
There's some fun stuff in it, but it's not a great movie.
Okay.
So, anyways, I love Twister. I think Twister is one of the greats of that generation, and I'm looking forward to the sequel.
I am too. I think it.
I'd rather have a.
Do you want more Twister content?
I'd rather have a Forced Ghost Philip Seymour Hoffman than Bill Paxton, though.
Who's your favorite dead celebrity? Or dead actor or actress?
Man, I I wish I thought about that.
Easy, Phil Hartman. Actually, Phil Hartman, Robin Williams, tie. I love both.
Also, speaking of dead celebrities, did you guys hear the confirmation of Matthew Perry's demise?
Yes,
it wasn't pickleball, Tyler.
It was ketamine, unfortunately.
No, I think he just swallowed a little bit too much water while being high.
While being high on ketamine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Makes you very thirsty.
Yeah.
But so, anyways,
Anything else, Tyler?
what I was gonna go with this is that my past self would have exploded with rage
About the Twister sequel?
about Twister sequel, but
now you're a changed man.
I think I'm a changed man. I'm a little bit more humbled, and I'm getting the move along sound. So I'll relinquish my time for this Gab and Chatter edition.
Wonderful. As a recap, what did we learn from this?
They're making a Twister sequel.
They're making a Twister sequel. Helen Hunt is not going to be a part of it, and the original writers are attached to it.
That they say they're making a Twister sequel that they say is not a sequel, yet Helen Hunt's character exists in the universe. Wonderful.
As far as right now.
Yeah. All right, Joseph, what do you got?
What do I have? Okay, exciting news for people of fans of movies and video games. So the game of the Year Awards, or the Game Awards, happened recently.
Yeah. Video Game Awards.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of stuff came out of that. I feel like this was the most content or memes that have been generated from those
Video Game
awards
Awards,
this year.
Is that right?
Because they combined games and celebrities. Timothy Chalamet delivered the Game of the Year award.
Yeah,
which was
it's becoming a more mainstream.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm sick of Timothy Chalamet.
I know, I'm tired of seeing that handsome mug.
Timothy.
Timothy. It's actually pronounced Timothy or something like that.
Timothy.
Yeah, in the French pronunciation.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
Timothy. But so Hideo Kojima of Kojima Productions, creator of several Silent Hill back in the day.
My favorite video game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yes.
Oh, no, Metal Gear Solid V.
Metal Gear
Ground
Solid
Zeroes.
series. He created a game that was released in 2019 called Death Stranding, which had a cast, like a Hollywood cast of its own. Had Norman Reedus, Lea Seydoux, Mads Mikkelsen, Guillermo del Toro was in it.
Yeah,
Nicholas
yeah.
Winding Refn was in it.
Great game.
And yeah, I was a big fan of that game. And so two big things for fans of that game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sequel coming out, Death Stranding 2.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Hideo Kojima has partnered with A24 to make a Death Stranding movie.
Very cool.
And
it's weird because the game is like a movie in itself. So
that's what I said.
They're putting the cart before the horse, I think.
And it's already like a movie because there's faces in the game. And so they're already acting in the game. And so they're somehow going to make it into a movie. And it's not just like some like Warner Brothers Universal type production. It's an A24 production.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what this is going to look like.
Making a video game and then making a movie, making a video game that looks like a movie and plays like a movie, and then making a movie out of that video game kind of feels like just making a movie with extra steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I'm going to make the game and
first.
then the movie.
The game is the proof of concept.
Yes.
It's a
the
really
pitch.
complicated pitch meeting.
I know.
A
lot was invested.
I think I can answer that question though.
What question?
What was the question? No one asked a question.
You were questioning how does a video game that already acts like a movie can be made in a movie?
I understand. They just make the game again.
But
But
I
with
don't.
cameras.
But you don't have options this time. You're just watching it.
Yeah,
It's like a playthrough. You're watching it's basically a Twitch stream.
that's
It's a high production Twitch
They
stream.
just combined the cinematics and they had the movie.
Yeah, there you go.
that's what I like about Hideo Kojima's product is that because I don't like when I play video games. I don't want it to be difficult. I just want to be like enamored.
Like hard to play.
I just want it. Like I tried Elden Ring because of the hype, and I got so GD frustrated.
Yeah.
That's the
And-
wrong game to go into for a relaxing event, though. That's on you.
No,
That's what the
because
Mario games exist for.
no, because I did go into the relaxing games, and I thought I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna play.
Again, that's a you problem.
I know it's me problem, but I really like the idea of just going through the video game, having a bit of a challenge, but also having an experience. And that specifically for Death Stranding, because I love that game. It's an incredible game. It's somewhat loosely based on the nature of the job that I do today to set my table. And so I really appreciated that.
Based on DHL workers comes Death Stranding.
Yes.
So where are you going with this, Tyler?
All I'm saying is I'm very excited in the direction that they're gonna go with this kind of movie, because this is.
But we don't know the direction. It was just announced.
I'm saying because it's ambitious. It's ambitious because, like the points that you guys just brought up, that it already feels like a movie. So it's like, where can you go from there?
As I will continue to this article, the film promises to delve into the mystery surrounding the apocalyptic event, which is called the Death Stranding, which blurs the lines between life and death and brought forth nightmarish creatures into a world of the brink of collapse. And basically, the plot of the game is that you are a delivery driver just trying to rebuild your civilization that was brought on by this sort of spiritual kind of apocalypse that happens, and all of a sudden there's these like oil spirits that are like around the world, and the rain can kill you and disintegrate.
I deal with that every day.
And so you're Norman Reedus' character, I can't remember his name, but you're just delivering packages around and around, and Mads Mikkelsen is around there and haunting you. It sounds like a very tedious game, but I really enjoyed playing it, and I'm very curious as to how they're going to do this. Because
our company is hiring if you want to experience that in IRL.
That's why I play the game.
Okay.
And
makes sense.
It's like playing Overcooked. I don't actually want to work in a kitchen. It seems stressful.
I'm curious because of A24 is the part that is like
production company
making me wonder so much, because
the game looks like an A24 production already.
The game the scope of the game just seems so big for an A24 movie, because I feel like A24 movies, they're a little bit more intimate. They feel smaller scope, and this seems very large scope. I think the concept of the game fits within the genre of A24 movies.
Yeah,
sure. But just like the production of it.
The thing that's great about, if you take something like The Last of Us, it has a really specific story about characters, and the whole point of that game is the story. It's fun to play, and there's interesting stuff that happens along the way, and the gameplay is very good. But the story is very intense, and the part 2 is even more intense. So it lends itself really to just following the game.
Yeah.
Which is weird for people who have played it, because you already know how the game's going to play out, or the movie's going to play out, or a series in this case. But for something like Death Stranding, maybe Norman Reedus' character isn't even in there. And if
it could be totally different character.
It's a very interesting world that's built, and it's what kind of world was built with The Last of Us. Pretty standard zombie world with a really interesting looking zombie and a type of zombie. Yeah. So they could make it a series just like The Walking Dead with better clicker zombies, with the the fungal zombies, and it could be fine. But why do that? They're not going to do that. They're going to use the story, which is the hook. With Death Stranding, it's a very interesting world, and the game is basically delivering packages all the whole time. They're probably going to abandon that part and look through, like you said, the origin of this event and how that...
Hideo Kojima says, there are a lot of game adaptation films out there, but what we are creating is not just a direct translation of the game. The intention is that our audience will not only be fans of the games, but our film will be for anyone who loves cinema. We are creating a Death Stranding universe that has never been seen before, achievable only through the medium of film. It will be born.
That's cool.
It will be born. Is that what it said?
I'm excited about that whenever that comes out in 2028.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm intrigued.
Bruce is in the chat. He says they should have made PT into a game, which is a psychological horror game.
PT. Oh,
it's also Hideo Kojima.
Oh man, what is that?
It stands for Playable Teaser for whatever reason. It's from 2014. Psychological horror game.
PT. That sounds vaguely familiar.
It's a video game by Hideo Kojima.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to recollect.
Let's figure it out on air, on mic. That's interesting.
But yeah, it's an A24 video game based movie, which
that would be a first.
They're venturing into that realm now.
Yeah.
So next up for them is Duck Hunt.
They saw awesome. they saw Halo fall flat on their face, so they're thinking like, oh,
we're gonna pick up the pieces.
Yeah. How worse can it be?
Cool. Looking forward to that.
Oh, we have a new member of the chat, Scotty.
cool. Hey,
Hello, Scotty.
Hey, Scotty, what's up?
Welcome to the show.
Scotty.
My next story here will be is humorous. So there's a bunch of director on director, actor on actor type videos coming out because it's getting to awards season.
Variety has that series, directors on director or something.
That's it. Yes,
and
yes,
they
yes,
pop
yes, yes.
up like right before awards season.
Okay.
Right after their
I guess that makes sense.
movies are about to be released or were released that year. And one of the pairings of directors on directors was Bradley Cooper and Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Yes. So they sat down and they just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just kibitz to regular human beings.
And Bradley Cooper this is his second movie coming out this month called Maestro. His first movie was A Star Is Born.
That was his first movie.
First director.
Oh.
Directorial movie.
Yeah. His first directorial movie was Stars Born, and then this next one is Maestro, following Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah.
And at one point in this discussion, Bradley Cooper mentioned that he bans chairs.
Yeah. Really
I
interesting.
like how you laughed before I delivered the joke.
It's just ridiculous.
Bradley Cooper said that he bans chairs from his movie sets, but people can sit on apple boxes, and it's not going down well.
Wait a minute. What's an apple box?
An apple box on
It's a box that holds apples.
on a movie set,
Like
is-
a crate, like one of those crates that hold fruit.
Let me explain. An apple box is just literally it looks like a little crate, and there's
Okay.
various sizes of it, and they're mainly just for they are for sitting, but they're also for if a talent is too short, they can stand on that. So Tom Cruise uses it a lot, and yeah, they're just blocks of wood basically.
And so what he's saying is that the quote is that as soon as you sit in a chair, you lose the energy. But resting up on an apple box is different for some reason. I don't understand that.
If you have time to lean, you have time to be on the crew and make a film. That's the saying, right?
Sure.
Okay.
So Bradley Cooper says, when we shoot the movie, no one's allowed on set. Bradley said in an interview for Variety before clarifying that producer Steven Spielberg was the only exception. This is in regards to like the family of Leonard Bernstein.
Oh, okay.
No one is allowed on set because that wasn't the only thing that he mentioned. That it wasn't just that was just the funniest thing.
Yeah, that was just one part of it.
How do you make a movie, Bradley?
And he told Spike Lee that he doesn't allow chairs on sets because he believes they cause energy dips. When I direct, I don't watch playback. There's no chairs. I've always hated chairs on sets. Your energy dips the minute you sit down in a chair. So he, along with no chairs, he doesn't have a video village, which is basically just a tent with a bunch of monitors.
Yeah.
And I understand that part, having no video village, because that puts you right behind the camera and you can see with your own eyes as opposed to seeing through a monitor what is happening on set. And
I don't know shit, but I feel like you should see what's on the screen. It seems weird to me, like not being able to see like the final product in camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess if you got the eye for it, whatever.
if you're the director, then your main job is focusing on the talent and
On the DPs,
and you're
doing that.
trusting your people, your crew to deliver your vision.
Your best boy, your gaffer,
Yeah.
what happened?
Imagine if you had to have all of your hands in each of those departments during a big production. That would take up way too much time.
Sure.
And also he's acting in the movie, so
That's like Kubrick.
he's like acting and directing at the same time. Can't imagine. Can you move that light? Like
And-
having to worry about that stuff.
And banning chairs.
There might be
one's allowed to sit.
there might be a monitor for like an AD or a script supervisor or something, but for him, like he doesn't, and not just him, other directors do this too. They don't want that sort of. It feels like there's a level of like artificialness to it when you're watching something through a monitor and not looking at the performances.
I can
Raw dog.
Oh God, raw dog. Come on, Joseph.
And
You're a married man.
so I can't say that.
He's the only one that's allowed to raw dog.
So Spike Lee asks him, so if me and you do a film, there's no video village. And Bradley says, when I ask you to come act in my movie, yes. But if you're the director and I'm the actor, you could do whatever you want because I'm your actor.
He's basically saying I'm an asshole boss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm after hearing this story from you, Joseph. I'm starting to formulate like sort of sympathy for Bradley Cooper and his way that he runs his set, because maybe he just doesn't have the funding. So if people
No chairs.
so
That's the take. He doesn't have money for chairs.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
my God.
He's probably trying to save money.
No,
I don't
he's
think
saving, and he's saving face by
No.
saying that he's
No, that would be that would be saving face. We didn't have the money to buy chairs.
Yeah, sorry, we're spending more money on production costs, so we're not going to cut chairs. That's like saying I don't have enough money for his seatbelts in my car or something like that.
you don't have seatbelts in your cars.
That's not legally required for that year of car.
So if you're working on a Bradley Cooper production, don't be expected to sit. Also, if you
Can you at least
you-
lean on walls?
he said Apple boxes are okay. So
okay,
find
so-
the nearest available Apple box. If
Bring
your-
one from home.
If your knees are starting to hurt, then you can sit down.
The memes for
And
this
if
are
you
good.
if you are physically disabled in any way, too bad.
Yeah, fuck off.
Because the backlash from Twitter has been.
Oh yes,
So some people have responded, sorry, but even completely able-bodied people are not performing at their artistic best when they've been standing for 14 hours. And your back starts to hurt.
yeah. You're human beings on that set at 12-hour shifts sometimes.
I know.
many times actually.
It's pretty nuts. But because of this,
12 to 14 hours,
the
at
memes
least.
that have been generated
Yes.
from this
Oh,
have
yes.
been wonderful.
I've been a meme machine on Twitter lately, and Joseph.
Have you made these?
No, I haven't made any. I just find them and
You're the
retweet them.
aggregate.
Yeah, I'm basically the 9gag of Twitter at this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
So follow Pete on Twitter at the real Pete with 4 E's.
Yeah.
He changes his profile picture and his name every so often based on the movie. That
You'll never see what it really is. You'll never be able to pick me out of a crowd on Twitter. But yeah, there's some good meme fodder on the Twitter. If you're on the Twitch stream right now, you can see it. But it's Bradley Cooper throwing chairs across like Bobby Knight across the basketball court. The scene from The Jerk. He hates chairs.
He hates these chairs.
Everyone get away from the chairs.
He hates these chairs.
This is
Oh my gosh.
a shot of him in Dungeons and Dragons.
What a
Honor Among
hypocrite.
Thieves. I know. Hypocritical.
He's sitting in the biggest chair imaginable.
how dare he sit down?
I know. We're exposing right here the hypocrisy of Hollywood.
What was this in?
That's Dungeons and Dragons
Oh, yeah.
Honor Among Thieves.
That's right.
Yes. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is the meme of your mom cleaning the house before we have guests.
Get rid of the chairs. We can't let Bradley know we sit.
Yeah, and then there's a great thread. Oh yeah, from Mean Girls. You can't sit.
You can't sit.
It's like you
That's
can't
all
sit
it
with
Bradley
is.
Cooper on the set.
Yeah. And then there's a great thread. It's the top 12 movies or top 10 movies that Bradley Cooper would hate. 12 Angry Men is one.
Basic Instinct.
She's sitting there.
Social Network.
A lot of sitting in that one.
There's a
He,
lot.
he would also hate Stanley Kubrick's his war movie. You can't. There's no fight.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the War Room.
Gentlemen, there's no fighting. Here's the War Room.
What is that movie? What is that?
It's called
Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, Dr. Strangelove or How I Stopped Worrying and Love the Bomb.
And you can't sit with us. And
Yeah.
You can't sit on the Eras tour.
This is gonna. Yeah.
Oh no. He would hate the theory of everything.
I'm gonna drop a bomb on you, Joseph.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan has the same take.
That's been debunked.
Yes. What? Really?
It was because it was in the same article, or not this article, but it was in the similar article where it was like Anne Hathaway reported that or said in an interview that he didn't allow people sitting, but he didn't allow any phones.
Debunked.
Yeah.
Rumor debunked.
I mean,
that makes sense. No
Yeah,
phones.
yeah, the phone thing I get. I mean,
His reasoning is, Anne Hathaway says, his reasoning is if you have chairs, people will sit, and if they're sitting, they're not working. Hathaway said at the time. She went on the note that she wasn't completely opposed to Nolan's approach. I think he's on to something with the chair thing. And then a representative from Nolan later told IndieWire that Hathaway's remarks were misconstrued, clarifying that the director had only ever banned cell phones and smoking.
I would never last on a Nolan set.
I don't think he would last on any set.
Yeah, for many reasons.
I don't even know
How-
where that comes from. But
You don't know
that's
how to
fine.
keep your mouth shut.
That's true too.
You can't sit through one movie without giving your own commentary.
I know. That's what would make me a great creator.
Bradley Cooper, whenever
creator.
he's like,
Yeah.
what does Bradley Cooper do? And like when he's at the movies or when he's
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not working. Oh, Bruce says if he would have hated Mel Brooks, is the 12 chairs.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No.
No. Okay.
I
Cool.
don't have anything else.
All right, great. I have two things. I'll make it very quick. We went a little bit long. So let's do a quick message from Bruce, who's in the chat. He says, this is after our conversation about Batman Returns. We watched Batman Returns a couple weeks back.
Oh, yeah.
He says, hey, guys, Joseph walked right up to it and almost said it, but Pee-wee was cucked by a penguin.
Oh, yeah.
And we did talk about how potentially that's where Penguin came from. But Pee-wee Herman, a cuck, and the penguin is the father. He said he wanted me to do a...
He was cucked by penguin? Or
No,
by a penguin?
a penguin.
Oh, a penguin.
Pee-wee Herman
Wait
was
a minute.
cucked.
This isn't the May December soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't have that on the board yet.
Oh God!
He had all week.
I know. The interesting thing, too, is that that Sting music...
This?
Yeah. He says, this is also from Bruce. It's stolen from a 1970s series called Ironside, which starred Perry Mason. But if we return to the character of Ironside, he was a wheelchair-bound detective who still had some of the assailant's bullets lodged in his spine, thus the name Ironside.
Bradley Cooper don't like that.
And that Sting was also written by Quincy Jones, which is pretty
Quincy
cool.
Jones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so anyways, very cool.
Impressive.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce. And then, so my next story is not really a story, but we've been blessed with a trailer for Alex Garland's new movie, Civil War.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that it's on IMDb like a year ago or something like that, and I'm thinking, what is Alex Garland's Civil War movie going to look like? And I'm thinking the Civil War, like the period specific,
The original Civil War.
That's what I was thinking
the
too.
OG Civil War,
Yeah,
right?
the OG.
Not the remake
Yeah, exactly.
Spider-Man's Captain America Civil War.
Yeah, boo. So then when we get the trailer, it's set in modern day, and it looks like a sequel to January 2024. It's basically like,
2024.
yeah, it could happen any moment.
We're in 23.
You mean January
son.
6th?
No, I'm just saying it could happen literally next month.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see
like-
what you're saying.
Like the movie is. A lot of people are thinking, I don't want to watch this movie because this could happen.
Yeah, this is a very real possibility.
And the movie itself is essentially the concept that America has broken up into multiple factions, and you know, there's a Jesse Plemons is in it, Kirsten Dunst is in it, who they're married in real life, so that'll be fun.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah, we talked about that when we reviewed Power of the Dog. But it would be, it's interesting because Jesse Plemons is playing like a militia sort of guy, and he's got the.
He's always playing like the sociopathic maniac.
Sometimes, yeah, he made his way for that when he was originally introduced to the world as Meth Damon from Breaking Bad. Everybody said he looked like Matt Damon on Meth.
Meth Damon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his character is really interesting in it, and he's got this AR, and he's, we're American, and he goes, yeah, what kind of American are you though? Mm-hmm. And that feels very of the time. It feels very, unfortunately, timely for today.
Yeah.
The country feels so much more divided than it ever has, and maybe that's just because we're adults and now we're seeing this, and maybe this was the same 40 years ago, but I don't think so.
I don't
think so.
I don't think there's that much vitriol. There is, but I don't think that I don't think we're the powder keg that the mainstream media says that we're out to be at this moment.
And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about like the state of the country, because this is not the show.
Why not? Let's do it.
Nothing. No,
Let's get into it.
No, that's for Tyler and Company. Start your damn own podcast, Tyler. It's a movie show.
Oh, we're still in pre-pro.
But I know you'll be on pre-pro forever. Don't you dare say that. That's an insult to everyone who's waiting.
How is that an
Who's
insult?
actually in pre-pro.
Waiting, yeah, that and the people who are waiting with bated breath for your show to go live.
It'll happen.
There's one of
Don't
them.
worry.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but anyways, the character, I can't help. I've seen the memes pop around, and it's a shot of Jesse Plemons holding an AR, and it says, "How can that be profitable for Frito-Lay?" And for the people who don't know, there's a movie called Game Night, which is a comedy with, who is it?
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Who's his wife? What's her name from Mean
Not
Girls?
Kerry Russell. No.
Either way, Jason Bateman is the main character, and their next door neighbor,
Rachel McAdams?
Yeah, it's Rachel McAdams, and their next door neighbor is played by Jesse Plemons, and he plays such a fantastically funny role. And we're gonna play the clip right now that's from. This is them coming home. And they're basically prepping for a game night, and they know their next door neighbor is gonna try to get in on. He's hella weird, and they don't want to let him in.
He's
so-
a cop, too.
yeah, he's a police officer. So go ahead and play the clip, Joseph. they're just trying to avoid him getting on board.
He's such a good actor.
All right, that's enough.
He's
So-
such a good actor.
I know he plays such a like undercover creep in this too. And so Game Night's worth a watch. I think this is unofficial streaming pick. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but I just wanted to play that clip. And I like to imagine that his militia, AR toting militia member in Civil War is the same character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He just leveled up and lost the social awkwardness, and now he's in full gun toting mode.
Honestly, like after seeing the trailer of Civil War, any other director, I mean, if it wasn't for Alex Garland, I wouldn't be interested. But if it was any other director, I would just groan and roll my eyes like,
There he
oh,
is.
dear.
This is what he looks like in the Civil
he
War
is.
trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with his red.
What
red-
kind of American are you,
Yeah. I mean,
Tyler? I'm asking you, what kind of American are you?
What would you say to that?
what kind of American am I don't even know. Like, it's
kind of a loaded question.
Like, how do you?
It
even,
really is. It's a great line.
It's a great line. It's a loaded question. How do you even answer that? Especially,
My answer is, hey man, I just live here.
what kind of American
So
are
you're a
you?
moocher, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, I
I
bleed.
pay my taxes. That one over there is the moocher. I'd rat out Tyler in an instinct. I'm sorry.
God, how dare you?
You'd be thrown right to the wolves.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, any other director besides Alex Garland,
I could see what's his name? The guy that did Independence Day, Roland Emmerich.
Roland Emmerich.
I could see him doing it, and it would be just the worst. It'd be a melodrama action.
I think because it's like
It's
on
not
the,
a sci-fi either.
it's on
this movie.
because
but he did like
I-
Day After Tomorrow or something.
It could be a sci-fi though. It could be like you
No,
never
for
know. with
Alex Garland,
Yeah,
I
I know.
mean.
That's what I'm saying. It could be like you never know with Garland. He might have an ace up his sleeve or something. I don't know. But any other this subject matter, it's. Let me just finish my point really quick. The subject matter, it's been done by a bunch of right-wing writers and directors, and it's supposed to make left-leaning people look bad and how they're supposed to be fascists and stuff like that. So I'm hoping Alex Garland can bring balance to...
Force. Sorry, I had to...
Okay, yeah. Bring balance to the force of this kind of subject matter of a civil war in America that's in modern day.
I certainly hope it's better than Men.
Man was great. How dare you?
Men was-
Keep your forked tongue behind your
You
teeth.
didn't like Men?
No, it was just Alex Garland finding out. He just found out about feminism.
That's a whole nother topic. We could do a full review on Men.
I would
because
love to do that.
I got strong opinions about it. But
We should do that.
anyways, so that is my last of my stories or discussions. Let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, indeed. Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks, movie that we watched this week that you can watch on your streaming services too. Tyler, lead us off.
All right. So I watched a new movie for once in the past
What is it?
couple months, I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Besides the ones that you were forced to watch.
Yeah, besides the ones. This
Tyler,
one
Tyler,
was willing.
Tyler, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad I could be back on again. So this is 2016's The Founder. This is starring Michael Keaton, Nick Offerman, John Carroll Lynch, and BJ Novak, Linda Cardellini. And
Sorry, the Cardellini.
Cardellini, sorry.
There we go.
My apologies. And what I think is the foxiest of the foxes, Laura Dern. She stars in that one as well. So this is directed by John Lee Hancock, and writer is Robert Siegel. This is basically an origin story of the rise of the empire that we know as McDonald's, the fast food franchise that has dominated the world for
So it's the
several
Ray
decades.
Kroc story.
The Ray Kroc story, correct. And this movie it's really, really compelling in the beginning. You really appreciate, and I think this is what the curse of capitalism is encompassed in the story, because you get seduced by it because you sympathize with Ray Kroc. He sees the original McDonald's with Nick Offerman's character and his partner running a very efficient operation. And they do explain, after Ray Kroc expresses his affinity for the operation, he sees the opportunity, and Nick Offerman explains to him, yeah, we already tried franchising, but we can't do the quality control that is up to our expectations. And so they just cut it. And I don't know why I said it like that. I had a little bit of phlegm in my throat.
Wonderful. Thank you for telling us.
But Ray Kroc, he's basically that stereotypical salesman that you see in period movies based in the 50s and 60s, where he's not going to door.
He's on the road. He's on the road.
He's on the road selling products to restaurants and
Pocket fishermen, bass-o-matics, things of that nature.
Yeah, he's very entrepreneurial, and
It's Edward Bloom from Big Fish.
yeah, that's an apt description. And so essentially, Ray Kroc, so the movie starts out with him being like a failed salesman, and then he's going to these. They had drive-ins back in the day, but not the drive-ins that you would think of. You would think of more like a Sonic kind of restaurant where you drive up, and then someone comes up to your car, and then. What I didn't know is that back then, I think it was like 1954, probably a little bit later than that, they would actually give you like actual silverware and plates and stuff, and that's how you would eat in the car. I had no idea that was a thing, and how inconvenient it was for the patrons of those restaurants. And so these two men decided, well, they come up with what they call the Speedy system. And they basically figure out like a modernized way to get food to their customers and not have to have these people like carrying plates and cups and stuff to these people's cars. Like it was just messy. And Ray Kroc, he was like getting frustrated because he was on the road all the time. He was going to these drive-ins. And he was always being inconvenienced, getting the wrong orders. Like he was frustrated. And then he finally finds McDonald's, which is, they had the one location in San Bernardino, which was...
This is all really interesting, but do they talk about the broken milkshakes machine, so the ice cream machine?
The ice cream machine?
They don't talk about the broken milkshake
Is that even
machines.
around when it was first started?
So when
I've seen this once.
When McDonald's first was around, like they were actually making like real milkshakes, like with ice cream and milk and stuff like that. But
And now
they use the Instamix.
Yeah, it's like basically condensed milk,
Powdered
and
milk
powdered
shakes.
milk.
powdered milk with like a thickening agent.
I love that superhero from Ren and Stimpy, powdered milkshake man.
But yeah, I thought the performances in this film were really great. Michael Keaton really sells that.
He's great in this. Yeah,
that entrepreneurial, like what?
Just entrepreneurial.
Okay, I'll say this. Tyler botches a lot of words on this show, but that's a tough word.
Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial. Okay. And I
The first time you
apologize.
said entrepreneurial, and now you just went entrepreneurial.
I stumble on this word all the time.
Anyways, this guy realizes that he has a golden goose egg in his hand, so he strikes up a contract with the two brothers. Nick Offerman's character is very apprehensive about it because he wants to really have quality control, which it's to his detriment, but at the same time it makes sense because his business is very successful. He just wants a small business. He even goes on to saying, Ray Kroc, Michael Keaton's character, says what are you, a beatnik? And then he's on the phone. He says, I'm a card-carrying Republican.
Oh,
And I laughed.
Wonderful.
I laughed so hard because it's so true. But anyways, yeah, this movie is really great.
Where's it streaming?
It's streaming. Actually, it's streaming on Freevee. I watched it on Freevee.
you've been using that Freevee.
It's a great program. And I think it's streaming on Pluto TV as well and Tubi, and you can rent or buy it at Amazon Prime. Just one more thing I want to say about it before I relinquish my time is that I think the ending kind of falls a little bit flat. And
I don't remember what happens.
what happens is that BJ Novak's character convinces Michael Keaton's character, why are you just doing the franchise stuff? Like, just buy the land in which the franchise is based on. Then you have control of the restaurant because you bought the land.
Mm-hmm.
And so he introduces like a whole new system to get around the contract, because in the original contract, he had to go through the brothers for any little change.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so he found like a workaway around that. And
So
then,
it's kind of like a villain story.
A little bit. It's like the Social Network for hamburgers.
Yeah, yeah.
it kind of is, but what I really like about this movie is like it induces you in the beginning. You're like, of course you would do that. Of course you would do this and that, and because
That just makes sense.
It just makes sense. But then, like in the grand scheme of things, it's like
Tyler, capitalism is not 100% evil. It's just a methodology that allows for evil.
And you can see like how he's like starting to get a little bit more greedy and like a little bit more unsympathetic to, or more
Find a way to make money off of this.
It's simply too good.
Yeah. It's a very compelling story. It's an easy watch. So yeah, check that out on Freevee.
I remember it being super entertaining. Yeah,
I was really
like
enthralled.
surprisingly entertaining.
I had zero hopes going into it. I'm thinking, oh great, an origin story about the fucking guys that make a Big Mac. Great. And it was so much better than it needed to be.
Yeah.
It was really good, and I credit that to Michael Keaton.
Cool. Awesome. Joseph, what do you got for the week?
That was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, so I'm going to go from worst to best in terms of my stream pick. So this is an anti-stream pick. My first two are anti-stream picks.
Okay. Holy shit. Wait.
Yes.
Wait.
What is this? What are we waiting for?
Anti-streaming picks.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so my first worst movie of the week was 65.
65.
Oh yeah.
The Adam Driver Turok movie, an official Turok movie.
Oh, I saw this one in theaters.
Yeah, he told us. And this was,
you didn't like it?
This was probably it had the most interesting plot idea and concept, and it was completely squandered.
I 100%
This
agree.
whole movie. And I don't know why Adam Driver was in this movie. Why would he be in this movie?
He had to save it. That's why.
He did not. You have Adam Driver from another planet visiting Earth 65 million years before humans.
Right.
A land of dinosaurs. And this is what you do with that idea. You put him next to a young girl who does not speak the same language as him, and they have
no on-screen chemistry.
There's no connection between either of them, and you learn nothing about them. And they're getting from point A to point B, and why do I care?
Yeah.
Why do I care? And you have dinosaurs, and you waste this movie on you waste the dinosaurs. Like, there's no good scenes with dinosaurs in this movie.
There was a couple that I liked with the dinosaurs.
Not nearly enough.
I like the cave scene where there's like a holograph and he's can see in the dark, and that was cool idea.
It was just
I agree. I was like, Adam Driver, dinosaurs with laser guns.
I know, with future guns.
That's all I need to know.
This was like a sci-fi original plot
Yeah.
with a studio budget, and it was terrible. It was so boring.
Well, give us a grade, a letter grade.
Like an F.
Really, F?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
Just because
but...
of how much I hated it. Because it betrayed me.
Yeah. If we make an end of the year most disappointing list, this would be near the top.
I agree.
Not necessarily
I agree with
worst
that.
for me, but disappointing.
It was
definitely
not good.
disappointing.
I did not like it.
I saw Adam Driver and I saw
unliked
Dinosaur. You unliked it. Oh my god.
Yeah. And you have Sam Raimi produced this movie.
That doesn't show.
I'm like, at what point did he give you like $50?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so disappointing. I'm sad that I wasted.
Where's that streaming?
That was on Netflix. If you really want to watch it,
It might be good for. You know what? It's not. I was gonna say it might be good for like 10-year-old, but it's not because there's not a lot of.
It's not fun.
It's a lot of walking around with two people that can't communicate with each other.
I guess I agree with you, Joseph. I think it's not a great film, but at the same time, the experience that I had was
that's your experience.
Your experience.
Yeah,
this is not Tyler's trip to the movies segment. This is Joseph's streaming pick.
This was a snooze fest. It was for sure.
All right, cool.
So my next worst movie that I saw, and I'm not recommending.
Okay.
Are
these ranked in any order?
I
65
I
was
said in the beginning.
He literally said worst to best.
I was just making sure.
Tyler, pay attention.
I did pay attention. I'm
awake.
awake.
You don't have to parrot everything that happens for the listeners. That assumes that they're not listening, and that's insulting to the listeners.
Okay, fine.
The next worst movie, I gave 65 1.5 stars. I gave this movie, Super Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is now on Netflix, 2 stars.
If you like this movie, then you can go straight to hell.
Is this the modern one or the 1990s version one?
You can look right there, and it's the modern one.
Oh.
And this is another movie that was, I feel like they completely squandered the cast of this movie. Because I feel like anybody could have done the voices for any of these characters.
I agree with that.
And it was just a wasted, it was wasted on me. And I feel like people of our age who played Mario back in the day, and it was just catered towards children. And
I have thoughts about this when you're done.
It's a great kids movie.
Sure.
For sure. 100% it's a great kids movie.
Illumination.
But it's a property of Mario, which it spans multiple generations.
Our generation was playing it when we were kids.
But there's nothing in this movie that is really for older people. I feel like there's nothing in it that was like really that great. Chris Pratt as Mario was definitely the worst part of this.
It was a very odd choice.
And they cram in, as you can see, they cram in Mario Kart, Rainbow Road, and a bunch of other Mario references, basically
Luigi's Mansion
into this movie, which I feel like could have been done really well, but I don't know. It was just like a attack of the senses in terms of all of that.
Did you like the part where the movie turned into a playable level for a little bit, and Mario has to almost practice that level?
That was probably the best part. The training, the training montage, basically, where it's like you as a Mario player just having to do the same thing over and over again, and you get past the moving platform and you fall and you land on the false floor.
Yeah,
that was pretty good, and like it was probably the most relatable thing in this movie.
Yeah.
But it was just I really wasn't expecting that much, but I was still let down.
I agree. My thoughts about this is that if you have this opportunity to make the Mario movie, you go from the one Mario movie, which is critically derided. Most people consider it a bad movie. It's very fun and very of the time, but it's a dumpster fire of a movie. It's great for what it is. I love it. But it's not good. And they're like, okay, we're going to take one more crack at it, and we're going to make this into a real Mario movie. One more crack at a real Mario movie. Their eyes are filled with like dollar signs.
Yeah.
Like they know that they have, this is a huge money-making enterprise. And we look at Mario and we think of NES Mario, the original Mario, maybe Super Mario 3, maybe Super Mario World.
Super Mario Sunshine.
But there's been so many iterations since then that all of the children in the world are playing Mario now, and they all have money. And when the kids go to the theater, they have to bring their parents because they're legally obligated to not abandon them.
Yeah.
So you get the parents' ticket money too. And that's how you make $1.4 billion on this middle of the road movie that is visually looks great.
Yeah.
Very mid movie.
It's a mid movie that looks fantastic, and it's like the animation is cool. But I have to say, my worst part of it was, I hate to say it, Fred Armisen as the King Kong,
Cranky
Kong, yeah,
Cranky Kong.
Not good.
I couldn't. At first, I was like, this guy sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But he was just, I don't know, he was just there.
And I actually liked Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I thought his voice worked well.
I feel like there's a lot of, this was a star-studded voice cast.
Yeah.
But I feel like none of them did anything really
Special.
I feel like they weren't all in it that much. They didn't use their voices to their potential. I feel
Well,
like.
that's the
especially
also,
Charlie Day.
Yeah, that's also the reason why. That's also like part of the recipe to making a billion-dollar movie is an animated movie. Is you got to put recognizable voice actors in it, so you can put on the poster Chris Pratt and Charlie Day
And
Jack
now he's
Black.
Garfield.
yeah, Jack Black.
And now
I know.
it's so stupid.
I know it's really dumb.
But you also have the original voice of Mario in the movie as well.
Charles Martinet.
He's there. Just use him.
Wait a minute, he was in the movie?
Yeah, he's at the very beginning.
He plays a Mario lookalike in the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's right there. Just make him. That was frustrating.
Did they have any Wii music playing in the background?
They had a bunch of music playing in the background.
It's just like Easter egg the movie, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's from all like Mario properties, obviously.
That's disappointing.
Where's
to
that
hear.
streaming?
That's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Don't watch that.
Two stinkers on Netflix.
If you're over 10 years old, don't watch that.
Go figure.
The next much better movie that I watched is a Christmas movie that came out in 2017 called Better Watch Out.
Yeah.
And at first, the first 20 minutes of this movie, I was like, this is not a good movie. I thought it was not a good movie.
Okay.
But then it takes a turn, and it turns actually pretty entertaining, and it turns into a wild ride.
Yeah.
And basically, it starts off with this kid whose parents are played by Patrick Warburton, and I can't remember her name, but her face looks familiar. They go out to like a party, Christmas party or something, and so they hire a babysitter who's looks like they're the same age as the kid he's babysitting.
She's like 4 years older.
Yeah, like he's like a sophomore and she's a senior or something. And he has like a crush on her, kind of like it's assumed that he is like into her, into the older girls. And it's a very it's a very strange home invasion movie, but the invasion is happening from the inside.
Ooh.
It was a good turn, a good twist at I don't know 30-40 minute mark, and it gets creepy a little bit. But it's fun. It's like a Home Alone-ish type movie, and it actually gets pretty violent. Billy from Stranger Things makes a cameo as a broy ex to this babysitter. And
Home Alone meets the Strangers.
Home Alone meets the Strangers is a good description of it. And it's virtually no one that you really recognize. His friend is played by the kid from Wildlife,
Ed Oxenbould.
Yeah, Ed Oxenbould. And that the main kid, he looks familiar, but I don't know what I've seen him in.
His name's Levi Miller. He's been in Pan. Oh, I know what he's from. Better Watch Out.
Oh yeah. And this is streaming on Prime, I believe. I believe it's on Prime.
What compelled you to watch it?
It's the holiday season. I had never seen it before.
I like this one. I remember fond memories of it.
Yeah, it's definitely just stick with it. Because it might seem like it's just not going very well, but
I remember the ending being frustrating but good.
Yeah, it is. It's somewhat unsatisfying of an ending, but
Makes sense.
It makes sense realistically.
It's about the journey, man.
This one's streaming almost everywhere: Amazon Prime, Peacock, Roku, AMC Plus, Hoopla, Tubi, Canopy, Crackle, DirecTV, Pluto. What is it? Dark Matter, Plex,
What is that?
Zumo
Wait a
Play,
minute,
and
there's a
Filmrise.
Dark Matter.
There's a streaming service called Dark Matter?
Yeah, who knew? Or you can rent it for $4 on Apple.
I might have to subscribe to Dark Matter.
Dark
and just
Matter.
Only stream pick my movies from Dark Matter.
But yeah,
Dark
that was pretty entertaining.
Cool.
Definitely worth your time. The next movie that I watched is streaming on Paramount Plus. I rented it because I don't have Paramount Plus, but is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Oh, sweet.
And this is essentially Across the Spider-Verse's cousin this year.
Oh, sweet.
Because the animation is also really good. It just sticks to the one style as opposed to Across the Spider-Verse many different styles of animation.
Yeah.
But this was a super fun movie. It's really fast-paced and also starring Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen again?
As a pig. Or like a hog.
He's like Bebop, right? Or
Yeah.
Rocksteady or Bebop, one of the two.
What's the difference between a hog and a pig? Aren't they essentially the same creature?
They're different, completely different, Tyler.
Oh, is that right?
Of the same swine
They're
category.
both, I think they're both in the same genus.
But yeah, it's a very kind of straight ahead story, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are actually played by teenagers, and so their voices really match the whole vibe of the movie, and it's very modern in its language, for sure. And Jackie Chan plays Splinter.
Oh, how do you do?
He's good.
Cool.
Yeah. There's this movie is definitely it like crosses the line between like it's for kids and for adults.
Oh, good. Okay.
Because there is this very strange joke in this movie that and it's gonna be a little bit of a spoiler because when I watched it, I was like, what are they saying right now?
Okay.
And so one of the turtles, I can't remember which one, they have this whole fear of humans. Splinter has instilled this sort of fear of humans because he was not treated well by humans before he was a mutant and after he was a mutant. And then he raised the turtles, and so he just told them to stay away from humans because they're no good.
Makes sense.
And one of the turtles has this irrational fear of being like kidnapped or taken by the humans and being milked.
Okay, what?
And they're like, how does that even work? Like, we don't have nipples. They say that. We don't even have nipples. And so that happens like earlier in the movie. And then later in the movie, there is like not necessarily a villain, but there's this person who captures them.
Okay.
And there's this whole like 5 to 10 minute scene of them. They're basically like strapped to this device. And they're like, this villain played by Maya Rudolph, I think.
Okay.
She says, turn on the milking machine.
What the hell?
And like, oh my God, they're actually milking us.
Oh my God.
I'm getting milked right now. And I was watching it. And I was like, I don't know if did the writers know this? Did the writers intend for this to happen?
Or is
it just some sort of weird joke that they just like really wanted to stick to?
Yeah, it's like,
but then also understand the double entendre.
It was funny in the writers' room, and it just got past.
It got out of hand.
Yeah,
and this is advertised as
it's
a
PG
family
movie.
movie.
Oh, it's PG.
It's PG.
PG movie.
Yes.
Okay, because
I got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Yeah,
because if I don't know if you know the whole universe of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but there's some pretty violent comic books involving the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I was just thinking, is this PG-13?
No, it's PG.
Oh my God,
it's PG. So
how did that?
And it's 100%. A child would enjoy this, but definitely a 13-year-old. This is like a 13-year-old movie, even though it is PG. I feel like the whole milking thing probably wouldn't play for a 5 to 10-year-old.
Milking turtles.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's.
But yeah, you have Seth Rogen, Ice Cube, John Cena, Paul Rudd plays like this little gecko guy who says "brah" all the time.
Oh, cool. He says what all the time?
Brah. And he has like a surfer type personality.
Okay, cool.
And I don't know if I really want to go into the plot of it, but
No.
It's super fun. It's definitely worth your time. I rented it, but you can stream it on Paramount Plus.
Cool. I keep putting it. I don't know why I haven't got to it yet. As soon as they hit Paramount, I was like, I'm gonna watch this weekend, and then I got sidetracked.
It's really good. Definitely like adjacent to Across the Spider-Verse quality in terms of the animation and action. Maybe not necessarily like the emotional weight of the storyline. But yeah, super fun.
Okay, cool.
And then my last one, not streaming, is in theaters still currently.
Oh, you saw a movie in theaters?
Yes, I saw a movie in theaters. I saw Godzilla -1.
Holy shit!
Dang, I need to see that.
And
so this. Sorry.
So this is probably the best Godzilla movie, and I definitely got misty-eyed, really only in one part, and I don't want to give anything away, but it was very entertaining, and like the like effects and the storyline were really compelling. The whole kamikaze storyline was very interesting, a story of survivor's guilt basically. And but one thing that detracted from the movie was the acting was really not that good.
Boo.
It was. I understood what they were doing and trying to go for, and like in it with better actors, it would have delivered that emotional punch. But it felt forced because I feel like he would get there, and then he would just go overboard.
Yeah,
he overacted a little bit, which might be in line with other Godzilla movies.
It's very of the era, and there's So, go ahead.
But yeah, so other than that, that was really the only thing I didn't like about it was the main guy's acting. It was just a little forced. But what he was doing, like at the end of the movie, and like what he had to do, that was pretty emotional. And then the guy who was essentially the other survivor of the beginning of the movie, kind of was the verification of his redemption. That was really well done, I think. I
liked how that. I don't even want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it. It's the reveal and the way that the story comes out, because you're like, you don't think. I'm not gonna say it. Not even gonna say it.
But yeah, it's really, really good. Definitely worth watching. And I've only seen the Matthew Broderick Godzilla, the Godzilla 2014, and so on and so forth. I have never watched any of the classic.
You didn't watch like the Shin Godzilla.
Didn't watch Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla is really interesting in the sense that, for one, there's two things that are weird about Shin Godzilla. It evolves throughout the movie, so there's like 4 different versions of Godzilla within the movie, and this does a little bit of that. There's 2.
Yeah,
but Shin Godzilla it's mainly about the government blaming each other and deciding like who's going to take care of Godzilla. Oh, it's in the ocean, so it's a naval issue. Yeah, now it's on land. Well, not yet. It's all on the coast, and we should send the Coast Guard in. And there's meeting after meeting after meeting, and they have meetings about who's going to have the meetings and who's going to go. It's like a bureaucratic nightmare more than anything.
Yeah, but yeah, it's super fun. So I'm a very like less than casual Godzilla fan or watcher. The shape of Godzilla, he's like a pear. He has like
a fat ass,
huge thunder thighs.
Oh hell yeah!
And then he's shaped like a triangle, and he gets smaller and smaller.
He's a pear.
He's got like a tiny head.
Yeah,
and like his arms. I like the way he walks.
Yeah,
just like, he's like wading. Yeah. He's like wading through water.
Dude, Shin Godzilla, he looks like a dope for most of the movie.
Oh yeah,
he's got googly fish eyes throughout half of it. It's hella funny.
But yeah, I mean the Godzilla movies, older ones, are definitely like they're camp.
Yeah,
100%.
Sure. We were just watching Destroy All Monsters yesterday here at the house at the Abeyta Studios, and that's got all of them attacking King Ghidorah.
Destroy All Monsters.
It's a Godzilla. It's called Destroy All Monsters, but it's a Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, all these different monsters. They're all teaming up to kill King Ghidorah, which is the three-headed dragon one.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention the Phantom Menace, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah,
it's really not that bad.
Wait a minute, the Star Wars, the Phantom Menace.
It's not that bad.
It's really not that bad.
I agree. Only once Jar Jar Binks.
Wait, what is that? What is it for?
Because it is that bad.
No, it's not that bad.
It's not.
It's really not that bad.
I'm with Joseph.
We should have a complete whole discussion about
Jar Jar
that.
Binks comes in the second one and really takes down that entire prequel trilogy.
I don't.
That poor actor though.
Jar Jar Binks guy.
Yeah. All the hate that he got.
Oh, you mean Jake Lloyd? You mean?
No, and him too.
Yeah, Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd and the Jar Jar Binks actor.
I feel bad for Jake Lloyd. Jesus Christ.
Speaking specifically about the overacting of the main character. I thought you were talking about the overacting of the boat captain.
Oh no.
Oh, and then you're talking about Godzilla.
And also I am talking about Godzilla.
Godzilla overacted.
Oh no, he did not. A little bit. But
that was he caused destruction.
Yeah, he was really
that.
I loved
the atomic breath.
Yeah, that was dope. It was the best version of that in my opinion. Two things that were really cool about that: the rooftop scene with the 1960s reporter,
the journalist
in there, he's giving a play-by-play, which is very specific.
He's walking right in front of me.
Yeah. The destruction is immense. You can't believe the destruction. Oh, he's fucking downtown. Oh, he just took down a building. He's coming right for us. We're directed the line of danger. Oh my god!
the color commentary of Godzilla.
It's so funny.
Godzilla running the corner.
Destruction.
And that's a mainstay of a lot of the old Godzilla movies. Is there's always a guy on the radio who's commenting, because if you don't have that, it's just a static shot of a guy in a rubber suit knocking down model building. But the guy that played the boat captain and the character of the mechanic who comes back later, I feel like they're archetype characters that somebody like Toshiro Mifune would play, who was in Seven Samurai. He was in Yojimbo and Sanjuro, old Kurosawa movies, and he has that very gruff, has that same sort of. You've heard this before. Where is it here?
Like the samurai type voice.
Very gruff.
Yeah, very like battle hardened.
And he'll talk really quiet, and then it gets really animated at the end of the sentence. Both of those characters were archetypes, so it's almost like they were trying to pay homage to those classic shitty camp versions of Godzilla, but making it the best version possible.
Yeah, like I haven't seen the movie, but based like on the scenes that I've seen and like the trailer, I got the feeling like that was like the way they were trying to go.
You gotta watch it, Tyler.
I know, I really do.
Go to the theaters.
Yeah, you know,
Go to the theaters
right away.
You saw 65 in theaters. You didn't tell us.
Yeah,
I didn't tell you. Yes,
No.
I did.
it was like a month later. You're like, oh, I watched that. We're like, what?
It was not a month later.
It was. I think it was months because I think it was my streaming pick. I talked about it, watching it, and then
because it was a
yeah.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
and I just
Tyler goes, oh, I saw that in theaters. We're like, you didn't bring it to the goddamn show that you're on right now. 2 months ago when it was in theaters.
That's right,
you asshole.
I forgot about that.
All right.
Anyway.
Anything else?
But yeah, those were my watches this week.
Cool.
Nice.
Beautiful. All right. I'm gonna power through some of these because I do have some good. I got some good streaming picks this week.
Okay.
I had a good week of movies.
All right. What's the first one?
Okay. So first is a fun comedy that came out this year. It's now streaming on Showtime and Paramount through Apple TV, but you have to like have Apple TV and then link your account to it. But if you have Showtime, it's right on the Showtime app. It's called Mafia Mama. Have you guys heard of this one?
Yes.
No.
Toni Collette is the lead in this.
Wow.
Yes, and she is having a blast. She is having a fun time in this movie. So basically, Toni Collette plays a suburban housewife whose son just goes off. She's an empty nester. Her son just went off to college, and she finds out that her husband is cheating on her, and she decides, let me back up a little bit. She gets a phone call that her grandfather has died in Italy. She was born in Italy, but basically before she had any idea,
okay, I see where this is going.
Before she had any thoughts or whatever, she moved to America, right? So they basically say, you need to come to Italy. We're gonna fly you out tomorrow to settle his affairs. And she's like, I didn't even know the guy. I can't fly out to Italy. I got my job. I got my family. I got my husband. And then she walks in and her husband cheating on her. And she goes, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go to Italy.
Oh, my God. Red-handed.
So she goes to have her eat, pray, fuck trip is what she calls it. It's like eat, pray, love, but she's going to fuck her way through Italy. And
interesting.
God bless her.
Whilst going back home for this funeral, right? And what turns out to be the case is that her grandfather was the head of a mafia family. And
she had no idea.
She had no idea. And she is named the successor.
Oh, okay. She's the princess.
She's the princess of the mob family. This has a really good cast as well. It's got Monica Bellucci in it, and then
there she is.
Yes, and she's like kind of she's like a not a hitman, but she's like an enforcer.
Yeah, I was gonna say enforcer.
She's like some sort of
the muscle.
I think they call her a soldier or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But there's a bunch of other actors that are I didn't recognize any of them, but were so damn fun. There's these two goons that kind of get assigned to her as a bodyguard service. So she's still wants to be a tourist, and she's out going to the sites and visiting places and eating handmade pasta and getting the best ice cream sundae that TripAdvisor had to offer.
And she's being shadowed by these.
She's got these two guys, and they're kind of dopes, and they're super fun. The one guy's a little chubby, and he reminds me of Paul Walter Hauser.
I'm sure that's not Jared Leto.
It could be Jared Leto, yeah. They just kept the makeup from Gucci, House of Gucci.
Yeah.
But the whole movie is basically her falling into, she's like, I can't do this. I'm here. I might as well just figure it out.
I'll give it a shot.
And she's being nice to all these people because she's this nice suburban housewife, and she's like having a blast, and she's laughing and having fun. There's a wonderful scene where she has a meeting with all the other heads of all the other crime family syndicates in Italy.
Yeah.
And she brings them lemon muffins she's like,
as a party
I
favor.
brought muffins for everybody, and they don't want to eat it. And she goes, oh, the poison. I forgot. Hold on, let me take one. And she eats it. She goes, look, they're safe. Let's all have muffins together. And they're all like scarred up faces and tattooed mob bosses. And
oh, that's funny. That's fun. That sounds like a fun romp.
You don't need to take this movie very seriously. It's super fun, and I don't know why this is getting
got hate when it came out.
Bad reception. It's like 5.4 on IMDb. This is a perfectly great movie. I gave this 4 stars on Letterboxd. As if you're looking for a goofy comedy with a really fun premise, starring goddamn Toni Collette.
Yeah, one of arguably the greatest actresses in our generation.
Really having a blast too. So the fun and the energy comes through. So that's Mafia Mama streaming on Showtime.
All right.
The next one is a little bit more of a somber movie, a lot more. It's called Vesper. Vesper, Vesper.
Sounds familiar.
Yes. And this is from last year. This is streaming on Shudder, Hulu, and AMC Plus, also DirecTV if you have that. This is a little bit more difficult to describe sort of movie. It's like a post-apocalyptic. I think it's British. I'm not really 100% sure. I think it says the production country is Belgium, France, and Lithuania. And it's got this really interesting. It looks like Death Stranding if you're looking at the trailer right now. It's that very somber, bleak, desaturated future. But there's some the graphics in this is really fantastic.
Oh, IFC film.
Yeah, it's from IFC Films, and it's this low budget dystopian sci-fi. The main character's name is Vesper, and she is living in this landscape and trying to make her way to I think it's called the Citadel. It's like this city where all the proletariats live and all the higher ups live.
Yeah.
And the one thing I do know about the future is that the people in power have genetically engineered plants to only produce one batch of fruit and then never produce fruit again.
What?
And it's basically to keep the underclass under control.
Okay.
And they sell seeds off to these people living in the muck and the mire.
It's like Half-Life, the movie.
I'm not familiar with that game very much, but
Just like the creature design.
yeah, there's a lot of tentacles and sloppy, goopy stuff, and
Ew.
there's this cool
slop.
floating robot that follows her around as her friend.
Okay.
And she draws a face on it to make it look more like a person. And it reminded me a little bit of the graphics level of quality of graphics of Love and Monsters, that Brian Duffield movie that came out a couple years back.
Yeah.
But this is somber and dour, and it's not a fun romp. But if you're looking for
It's not a good time.
no, if you're looking for a cool indie sci-fi that looks fantastic, and the acting I think is pretty good. It's the main character is a kid, so you take a gamble when you got a child for the main actor because you just never know what you're gonna get.
So ultimately, the story is that she's just trying to get to the Citadel.
There's more to it than that. She discovers somebody that she's trying to help out, and that's frowned upon in the future. You don't help other people.
Oh, wow.
So
You don't help other people.
no. The appeal to this though is that the world building and the kind of the creature design and the interesting sci-fi. So that's Vesper streaming on Hulu, AMC Plus, and Shudder.
Hulu.
Next up, this is a French movie that came out this year. It's called The Three Musketeers d'Artagnan. And yeah, just came out this year. Joseph's feverishly pulling up the trailer.
There it is.
D apostrophe Argatan.
Duggerton.
Yeah, you know how French people spell their names, the extra consonants all over the place.
Yeah. Bastards.
So sons of bitches. So this is also obviously set in France.
This came out this year.
It came out this year, yeah. And it's streaming on Apple TV right now.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't even show on Just Watch that it's streaming on Apple TV. But if you go in and pop it in, it is there. I watched it there this week for free. I've subscribed to that service.
It's not an Apple TV original or anything like that.
No, it's not. And this was released much earlier in the year in France. I don't think it ever got a theater run here. And this is essentially the origin story of how D'Artagnan became part of the Three Musketeers gang.
Oh, okay. So separate from the Three Musketeers.
Correct. There was already three of the Musketeers.
And this guy.
And then D'Artagnan came along and said,
Then
"Hey
there was
guys,
four.
can I be part of your gang?" And
I never
they're-
understood that part of the story because, like, the Three Musketeers and this guy.
and this other dude. Yeah. it's weird. Yeah, I don't remember any of the story plot from like the old ones, the original one that at least quote unquote the original one, the one that I know from like the 90s or whatever, early 2000s.
I only know the one with Steve Martin and Chevy Chase.
That's the Three Amigos.
Oh, Three Amigos.
Very
that's
close.
right.
Yeah. So this is starring Francois Civil, Romain Duris, Pio Marmaille, people who I didn't recognize, but also Vincent Cassel,
Oh, okay.
Ava Green, and Vicky Krieps, who played the love interest in Phantom Thread.
Vicky Krieps.
Yeah, she was in Phantom Thread. She was the one that was poisoned. What's his name?
Is she the love
She's
interest?
the main love interest.
Oh,
She's
okay,
the main one. Yeah. And then Ava Green, who is played Vesper, coincidentally, in Casino Royale.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in Sin City too? No.
No, I don't think so.
What was she in?
I don't
She was
think
in
so.
something.
She's been in a lot of stuff. She's really good. But anyways, the appeal to this movie is that I've talked about my love for Barry Lyndon in the past.
Yes.
It's a Stanley Kubrick movie. Underrated, in my opinion. Way too long for some people. Perfect for me.
Yeah.
And it is all about the production and the set design and the way that it's shot and the cinematography. And that's this movie. Because the costume design is fantastic. It feels very real. It feels like these characters are living it and you're right along with them. There's so many gorgeous sets and like villas and castles and stuff. And I'm watching this with Brianna and I'm like, where do they find this location? And she's like, that's just France.
It's just how it is.
That's just how they are over there.
Like, what?
They just kicked out the tourists for the day and they let them film there. Yeah, there's some double cross. There's some espionage. There's some sort of love, maybe a little bit of love triangle sort of stuff here. And
There's 3 of them.
yeah, good point. And it's
Oh, I love your sense of humor.
but it's very fun too. Action scenes are good, and there's a surprisingly large amount of guns in this.
Oh, yeah, muskets.
Guns.
Yeah,
It's
they
in
have
this-
muskets.
but they
And
got
They're
the-
musketeers.
They got
that.
hey, good point. You got me there. They have they have like the flintlock pistols too. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So the one guy's got like 4 pistols on it at any given time. He's
You mean like from Fortnite?
yeah, like Fortnite. He's like blowing people away and then blowing people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of them's gay.
He's blowing people away.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a bar scene where one of them's basically, don't listen to him. He's just trying to get you in a bed. And he looks back at him and he goes, hey, if it moves, right?
It moves.
He's basically like talking about how he's bi. And
He's
you're
like, a hole's a hole.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it all spoken in French?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
okay.
all sub. There's a couple parts in English. A couple of the characters
But
are,
mostly in France.
some of the characters are
Or
bi and
French.
trilingual. So anyways, yeah, that's the Three Musketeers D'Artagnan. And then finally, Joseph will love this one. I finally watched Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
And this is streaming on
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that movie.
Amazon Prime, MGM Plus, Paramount Plus, and I think that's it. You can also rent this on just about everywhere. YouTube for $4, Apple TV for $4. I bought this on 4K a while back and I haven't sat down and watched it until
Really?
just this week. This is such an entertaining movie. This is it does not, it's the one thing I don't like about it is that Tom Cruise has this smug asshole grin on his face the whole
movie.
The whole movie. He's
Yeah.
isn't this great?
But that's Maverick. That's Maverick though.
I
If
don't
you
know.
Watch,
I don't know that. I haven't seen the original.
It-
So he's looking at. It's like he's looking at the camera the whole time, and isn't this great?
Yeah.
I'm Tom Cruise. You know?
I mean, the movie starts with him, someone saying about him.
Yeah,
he's
pretty
the
much.
fastest man alive.
Yeah, exactly. There's
but
no. Say what you're gonna say.
if
Make
you
it-
watch
make
the
it
But
short.
you
if
haven't watched. But you haven't watched this one.
I haven't watched this one, but if you watch the original and just based on that small description that you just gave, it would make sense why he would
it's-
be like that because
It's not like he's cocky in the movie, because he actually does have a little humility within the movie. Like he's. But what you're saying is the character is he's this cocky guy, right?
That's
From
how
the
he
original.
is.
That's how he
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
It's different than that.
Okay.
It's a smugness. And it's not Maverick. It's fucking Tom Cruise that's being smug.
It's just his aura of his personality is smug.
I can't explain to you how I know it's Tom Cruise and not Maverick in this, which also his name is Pete in this, which is, I'm adding it to the list of famous Pete characters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Pete Maverick Mitchell. I think that's the name. But
I didn't know that.
his smugness is coming through throughout the whole thing, and you're like, ain't it cool? Look what we're doing. It's great.
Because he knows
We're bringing
and
back
he-
cinema.
and he is the teacher.
Bringing back cinema.
He's the teacher for these new pilots.
Yeah.
And so he has that sort of confidence, cocky confidence.
It's all the stuff with Jennifer, what's her name?
Connelly?
Connelly. He's like, hey, you're back. And he's just,
That was such part of this movie felt like an ad for like senior loving, like
Senior loving. What?
this is the prequel to the Golden Bachelor season. you
yeah,
know?
that's what it felt like.
Yeah, it was. So all that stuff I could have done without, which is fine. I'm not angry
It was
about it.
just a shoehorn. Just
Sure. Yeah.
she's still around,
Yeah, and
but
she-
also the original girl from Top Gun. I haven't seen it. Like she was, I can't remember what her character was. She was like the love interest to.
I don't know.
Yeah, because Jennifer Connelly essentially is a replacement for the original girl.
Oh yeah, they didn't bring her back.
Yeah.
Which is okay, whatever. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
But the plane sequences, holy shit.
That training montage.
The training montage
that
was
was
great.
incredible.
When he finally straps in and he takes the run.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've seen this movie before. It's called Star Wars. That's the Death Star. That's not some unknown country's radioactive base.
It's
here.
a Star Wars plot.
It literally is. They're
Yeah.
like, we have to shoot 2 missiles onto the size of a bullseye, a womp rat from 50 parsecs or whatever.
Yeah.
And after hitting this impossible run and after not being hit by this surface-to-air missile of sights and all this stuff, and it's like they're telling him all the things he can't do, and then guess what?
He does it.
Maverick does it.
I know.
And proves them all wrong. Also, Glenn Powell is a real cunt in this.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a great, just total dickhead.
What about Miles Teller? He's
I like him.
he's essentially the Maverick of this movie.
I've seen a lot.
So there's 2 Mavericks in this movie.
So since I haven't seen the original one, I can't say for sure, but I felt like they're trying to make Glenn Powell the Maverick.
Really?
Like he's trying to be this hotshot dude, but instead of having the charisma of Tom Cruise,
Is he
he's an asshole like Glenn Powell.
Is he supposed to play the Iceman? Of
Miles Teller is Goose's son.
Yeah.
He's
Rooster.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Rooster, that's right.
And
Okay,
then
Goose.
and then Glenn Powell's character is essentially the Val Kilmer to his.
And this is gonna
Goose.
be gonna be fascinating to the audience because we were basically explaining to me the plot of Top Gun 1, having not seen it and only the sequel. But yeah, I thought
They're frenemies.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Okay,
because they're basically like frenemies.
Yeah,
they're just friends in this one.
Yeah.
And the Val Kilmer cameo I loved it. I thought it was super tender, very sweet to see him on screen.
It was funny how he gets him there though. Yeah. I need to see you. He texts him. I need to see you.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was.
Did he just stand there silently?
I thought it was weird that he texts you that and then this music comes on. I need to see you, Maverick.
But yeah, when Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise are like, obviously they did the deed and they're like post coitus laying in bed.
Yeah.
It felt like a Hallmark Lifetime scene.
Yeah.
Like that part of the story was very much like older man and older woman.
And to be fair, Tom Cruise, he's 60 years old or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think he's 60.
Somewhere close to there. At or around 60.
16 some change.
God willing, any one of us look like that at 60, right?
Yeah.
But I don't need to see that.
He has no thetans, that's why.
Oh, that's true. Or too many thetans.
We haven't audited enough.
Yeah. So,
Take the shears to that.
So this movie though, I watched this early in the morning on I think last Sunday or something like that, and I know it's a movie you have to have super loud.
It was a great theater experience.
Yeah, I wish I would have saw it in theaters. I think I had some COVID related concerns at that point, and anyways, I wanted to crank the volume up, but Brianna was sleeping, so I put my headphones on, and I'm like, these headphones aren't. I'm not getting
You're like,
it. I'm not getting it. So I stopped the movie. I went and found my bass boosting headphones that have like a bass knob on them and shit.
Oh, and cranked it all the way.
Figured out a way to hook that up to the PlayStation, and I went to town, and I was like,
I went to town. What does that mean?
Brain was, you know exactly what I mean.
You know those virtual reality movies that you would go and see like at Disneyland or Universal Studios.
Captain EO.
I feel, and actually, I've been on a Top Gun roller coaster before at
Six Flags.
No, it was Paramount Park. I think it was.
I
think
what
Paramount.
is that?
Paramount.
That's Great America.
Oh, Great America. Great America. Yeah, Great America. They had a Top Gun roller coaster, and that was great. Anyways, if they had like a virtual reality sort of thing for Top Gun, you know what? Now I'm going off.
This is great.
I'm cutting your mic.
Please.
I don't know where we're going with that.
Yes. So, anyways,
going off on a whole tangent.
I know, I'm aware of that. The reason the whole point of this is that go watch Top Gun Maverick. Bruce is the only person I know that hated it. I don't think he's in the chat anymore, but man, he hated it. It was basically said it was like military propaganda the entire time, which is I can't argue with that. That's pretty accurate. But
Join the Air Force.
the funny
or
thing,
the Navy.
Yeah, the funny thing was that they didn't even list the country that they're attacking.
No, it's just
It was
random country.
It was almost distracting that they didn't say who it was, and then when you see the other fighter pilots in the plane, it's the glass is so tinted you can't even see what they look like.
I think the assumption is it's China.
No.
China or Russia
Or it could be an Eastern Bloc country. It could be in frickin' Iceland for all we know.
It was probably just like
There's
just
no
unknown enemy.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting because the original Red Dawn was China. The new Red Dawn is
Was it China?
It was Russia.
Korea. Yeah, the original one was Russia, and then the next one was some Asian country. And they couldn't choose China, even though that would be the obvious choice because the Chinese market.
Well, and
So take the country out of it, and it's just this unnamed evil source. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. So, an absolute feat of a movie. It was a fucking fantastic action movie that I was 100% bought into.
Well, he's actually flying the jets this time.
Yeah.
Which was nuts.
Yeah, I know that he was in there and technically he was flying it, and all that stuff. So, but just being able to capture like how close the wings are getting to the mountains and stuff, and seeing
that was crazy.
Impressive.
You haven't seen it?
I was gonna say I've seen a lot of clips on TikTok about that movie.
No, unless you've seen the movie, zip. What? You need to I don't want to hear you chime in about Godzilla -1 unless you've seen it. I don't want to hear you talk about how great Top Gun Maverick was if you haven't experienced it, because I feel like this is going to sound like a really asshole thing. They're movies you have to experience. Fucking experience them, Tyler. Go see these movies.
I forgot.
Your two best friends are here gushing about these movies, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go watch The Founder. I'm going to watch X-Files again.
Wait a minute, what's wrong with The Founder?
It's fine, but you pick one movie in the last 3 months, a new movie to watch, after Joseph and I gush for hours on end, a 2-hour episode we're about to record about these movies that we love, and then you're like, I'm going to watch Golden Girls. Yeah, it's Golden Girls, fine.
You know what? I can't argue with that.
There you go. All right.
Can't argue with that.
Okay, anything else, fellas?
No, I think.
No.
That's it.
I don't think
This is a record for the episode, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
All right, so thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, listener Steven, Heather Sachs, Ryan, Corbin, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, hit us up at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just support us by going to the YouTube channel, subscribing, and watching. That is probably the best thing you can do right now.
Yeah, subscribe. Give us those hours.
Yes,
subscribe.
Download. Yes, please. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter, and we discuss a ton of movies. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/middleclassfilmclass, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at middleclassfilmclass, and leave us a voicemail, why don't you? 209-730-6010.
Follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at PodcastMCFC.
Again, recommend the show to a friend or family that likes these sort of things, or just follow us on YouTube. That would be great. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later. See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.